A BetterHelp ad. Therapy isn't just for times of major challenge. It's a valuable tool for anyone wanting to improve their well-being. It can help you develop healthy coping skills, set boundaries, and support personal growth. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a fully licensed therapist right from your phone. No commuting, no waiting rooms. And you can switch therapists at any time. Sign up at BetterHelp.com and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com.
It's time for pure Mario fun. Arguably the most fun you can have with Mario, at least in single player. Smash and Mario Kart are perhaps better. But Super Mario 3, the ultimate in crazy fun times. Answer questions like, can raccoons fly? Turns out yes. Can you shoot fireballs underwater? Also yes. Can you throw hammers at enemies like in the movie Dodgeball? Yes again. It's time to gear up because Mushroom Kingdom is once again under threat from the evil Bowser. But this time, he brought the family. And apparently, Bowser gave all of his kids weird magic wands, like Sauron did with rings. And they're all just laughing and laughing, turning kings into an assortment of animals. To win the day, you'll have to bring skills like jumping on enemies, throwing bricks at enemies, throwing enemies at enemies, hitting enemies with your tail, scaring ghosts by looking at them, and more. All so you can defeat all of Bowser's kids in their weird half-built flying ships, and then eventually have to defeat Bowser and save Princess Peach again. So buckle up, throw in a ridiculous Halloween-style costume, and enjoy the power of let's just go with magic, because Super Mario 3 is awesome.
Recall.
Welcome back to Retro Recall, the show with more nostalgia than the number of times you've been told that the princess is in a... Wait a minute. The king's a dog? What?
Yeah, this was a weird one. Like every time you're like, I'm not saving the princess. I'm saving the king.
It's a
but
dog?
in the end, you do save the princess.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I guess she was not locking the door.
I don't know. And she leaves you little letters and stuff. But anyway, what are we talking about? What are we doing?
Today, we're going to the third installment of the most famous franchise of all time. Deal with it, Minecraft and Call of Duty. It just is. And unlike Super Mario 2, this one is actually Super Mario themed the whole time.
Wow. Even though it's a play, it's make-believe.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not a dream, and it's not as weird.
They're all make-believe. For
true.
being honest. Yeah.
True.
So today we're going to cover Super Mario 3, why John specifically loves this game, how much of an expanse it was versus the second one, and what it's like going back and playing it in 2026, obviously.
Yeah. You guys know the drill.
Yeah, as always, we'll just start off with the basics of the release. This game came out in North America. Everything we do is North America because the Japanese releases are all over the place.
And we're also not in Japan.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think a lot of you are. So, released in North America, February 12th of 1990. Astronomic hit, by the way. Although, funny story, Nintendo gets a little bit big for their britches here because they advertise this thing in the movie The Wizard, which is awful. 29% Rotten Tomato. Awful. And the reviews were the whole thing was just an ad for Nintendo. Yeah. So that's what they went with.
I was exactly the right age to have gone seen this movie. And
you saw The Wizard?
Never saw it. And I
really?
Never saw it. I think that's how bad the reviews were. By the time it was like
atrocious.
My mom was like, "Hey, you want to go see that Mario movie or whatever it is?" And I was probably like, "No."
Yeah, that movie, I've actually don't think I've seen the whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces of it because it is crap. But this game launches, and we're going to cover more of it later, how big of a hit it is. But it is one of the top selling games of all time. It leads to a launching of a really bad TV show, really bad. But aside from that, let's just talk about 1990 though, because this is a great year. 1990 is a fun inflection point. It's a better year for music and movies because I like going back in time to how messed up this era was. So 1990, sure. The music, the number one hit here is Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul. Remember her?
Yeah.
You probably do. And The Wild Pair. So I had to go look up. I'm like, who are The Wild Pair? Nope.
No one knows. No one knows.
Nope. Nope. Nothing good came of them. But a month prior, Scumdogs of the Universe came out by Gwar. So there is there, and I'm not going to apologize for being a Gwar fan. I love it being a Gwar fan, and I'm going with past tense Gwar because ever since Dave Brokey died, they're not really Gwar anymore. But
Not the same, huh?
actually, 1990, really good year for metal. You get Cowboys from Hell and Lights Camera Revolution. So great year. But February and movies, because we always cover movies. And if you don't know, January and February are your dump months. Usually that's when the studios just say, look, this thing, we made it and it's not going to do well. If we put it out in the summer, no one will see it. Maybe some people that are really desperate to go to the theater will go and see it. So they put out not great films these times. And that's what we got. So we have Kevin Costner in Revenge.
Okay, so I don't even remember this movie at all. This isn't even one of those Kevin Costner films. Nah, I'm not going to see it. I have no recollection of a movie called Revenge.
Revenge has a really solid plot. Revenge is Kevin Costner is a ex-Air Force pilot. Not like special force, just pilot, who's in some, I think, Central American country and sleeps with some guy's wife, and that guy's wife tries to kill him.
Cool.
That's Revenge.
All right.
Then you have Madhouse, which has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. 0%.
Zero. No
that
positive reviews.
Hard
Yes.
to do.
Yeah, it would be very difficult.
But my epic one here is because we were talking about an era. Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal.
Oh boy.
Steven Seagal in 2026, we all know is a clown. And he's been a clown for a long time. But in 1990,
probably never
Steven
wasn't
Seagal,
a clown.
but he was riding high. We were still in like
people
the
didn't
Under
know it
Siege
yet.
era. Yeah,
People
we're
didn't
still
know it yet.
Yeah, we're still kind of in there. We still think he might be cool.
Right.
So
right.
I had to copy and paste the tagline for.
Can I read this? Can I read this out?
Please, yes.
This is amazing. This is another one of those movies never saw.
Oh, I've
here we
seen
go.
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure you have. Targeted by the mob and its political supporters, hired assassins leave LAPD detective Mason Storm for dead. Mason Storm. What 80s, 90s name?
That's his name. Mason Storm. Yep.
Mason Storm. That would be a joke character I make up for like some playthrough of something. 7 years later, he recovers from a deep coma, demanding justice and the opportunity to get even.
Yeah. The plot of this movie is Steven Seagal wakes up from a coma 7 years later to get revenge on the people that put him in the coma.
And I bet his muscles haven't atrophied at all.
Not one
in those 7 years.
And and his hair is slicked back.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, man. Oof.
I have seen this film.
Oh, and if anybody is a Steven Seagal fan from the 90s and hasn't watched a more recent Steven Seagal film, do yourself a favor and go look one up and see how good they are.
Here's actually a better way. If you want to have fun, put in the comments the moment you bailed out of Steven Seagal. What was the last Steven Seagal film you saw where you're like, nope, I'm done now? Because mine, I think, was Under Siege too, but people went beyond that.
Yeah.
But,
so another side point here while we're on Steven Seagal, there is a subreddit called Bullshido.
Oh, I know.
Everybody needs to look up because that is basically modern day Steven Seagal movies.
Oh, I'm aware. 21 years of jiu-jitsu and 10 years of kickboxing.
It's so wonderful.
Bullshido has come up.
Bullshido is amazing. Anyway, so moving on.
Steven Seagal's back. But I will say, one fun note, though, of this era is every now and then in this era of January, February movie dumps, you do get a good one. And you did this time. We got Tremors. It was a little bit close, it's a few weeks earlier, but Tremors dumped.
Yeah, which came up in one of our our first or second episode.
Tremors is awesome. Tremors is a great film. So if you haven't seen Tremors, go see Tremors.
Right.
Is it great? No, but is it good?
Well, it's campy in all the good ways.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah. Is it Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But anyway, Super Mario 3. Let's talk about Super Mario 3.
Let's talk Mario.
Now, Super Mario 3. Now, first off, unlike Doki Doki Panic Skin Job that was Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3 was a true to form sequel of Super Mario.
Right.
Coins, turtles, mushrooms, fireballs, etc. But they went ham with the enhancements. And they actually set the stage for a lot of future games. This was, I believe, the first game with an overworld map. that you would actually go. I mean, like obviously Zelda had it, but just
the first Mario game with an overworld map, and that became standard for pretty much everything else, has some form of navigation or map in it in future Mario games. This game sets the standard for so many different things across the entire Mario series, even today.
Mini games. They bring in a lot more mini games. We had a little bit in Super Mario 2 where at the end of it, you could have the little
slot machine thing.
Yeah, slot machine thing. But this one took it maybe a little bit too far because I did beat the game with 42 lives left.
Yeah, they do give you plenty of extra lives.
We'll talk more about that in a bit. Once again, you're back to defeating Bowser and his kids to save the kingdom. Although you are saving kings, you're not just saving the princess the whole time.
Right.
The main thing about this game, though, is the level of hit this game is. So this is considered the greatest NES game of all time by most rankings. It sits at a 98% plus ranking. Most people, it is in the running for the best NES game of all time. A lot of people consider it is the best NES game of all time. People argue it may be one of the best video games of all time. And I'm in that camp. I don't know if it's the best video game of all time. That's a really tough thing to grade.
That is real, especially with how diverse video games have become.
Exactly. But I would agree. I think it's the best Nintendo game. I do think for
the NES specifically, or for Nintendo as
for NES. Sorry, from an NES standpoint, I think this is the best NES game. I think it's the most entertaining. I think it's the most fun to play.
It feels like the full culmination of what they were originally shooting for after learning their lessons with the first Super Mario Brothers, and then the Japanese 2, and then the not like Doki Doki Panic.
And this was a goodbye to Nintendo because this one came out and it was within, I think, a year and a half, we got Super Nintendo. So this also was that it was a great game that also was a goodbye to the Nintendo
swan song.
Yeah. And just so people know the numbers here, it's the number 3 top selling NES game of all time. And we talked about this before. Number 1 is Super Mario Brothers. Number 2 is Duck Hunt. Number 4 is Tetris. So last week I mentioned number 4 was Super Mario 2. I was wrong. It actually is Tetris. I got incorrect information. And I went and pulled the numbers. Super Mario has sold 40 million copies. Duck Hunt, 28 million copies. And it was part of the console, is why they count that.
Right.
Super Mario 3 wasn't part of a console, sold 18 million. Tetris at number 4 is 8 million. So 10 million less than number 3. That is a big drop. That's how big this game is. Effectively, everyone who had a Nintendo bought this game.
Yeah.
It's
huge.
Yeah. So that's why when we talk about like how much I love this game, that's why. I'm not alone. Most people do. It's massively.
I agree. This one definitely is the better game of the ones that we've covered so far, which would be all of the Mario games on the NES. So there you go.
But so let's talk about first time back then. I haven't played this game actually it hasn't been. I mean, it's been maybe a decade again. NES Classic, so I played it again.
Yeah, but this is another one of those that every so often I'll be like, oh, what's on the Wii Virtual Console? And play it a little bit and put it back down. Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say that I liked about getting back into this was this game's easy. I will say this. It really is like, man, like Super Mario, I was like, man, this game gets hard. Super Mario 2, oof, this is just some challenge. Super Mario 3 is not much of a challenge. There's a couple levels, so you're like, this is hard. Yeah, I like it. It's made because it felt like it was made to me, whereas other games felt like they were made to be a challenge and be a game. This one felt like it was made to be enjoyed.
It felt more like you're going on a journey and you're getting to see all the different sights and you get to try all the different power-ups and you're getting to be surprised by the different enemies in each world because they're all a little bit different. It felt, and like, if anything, this game is fairly long. Like the other games can take a while, but this one, like,
this one actually has a lot of levels to it.
Yep. Yeah. I remember sitting down at some point as a kid and being like, do I have enough time to play Mario 3 or should I play something else?
Yeah.
Because
I had to grind this one out. I'll be honest with you. It took me a few days. I had to grind hard, but it was.
And you can save it today if you're playing it on like, an emulator with save states and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
back then it was just playing.
Yep.
But
so I grabbed some fun sneak attack facts for you. Some things I don't think a lot of people knew. So you know how we talk about sometimes the games are a little bit different between the Japanese version and the American version. Well, not as different as Mario 2 being a completely different game, but the Western version of this game was made easier because they still believed that the American audience was not as good at the games as the Japanese audience and that they would bounce off. So for an example,
I hate that. It's just that maybe we just like to have fun and don't want to just grind.
But I don't know. There's definitely a cultural difference there. But so in this game, when you're like Fire Mario, when you have a power up and you get hit, you just go back to Super Mario and then you get little and then you die. Whereas in the original Japanese version, if you had fire, just like in the original Mario 1 and you got hit, you got little. It took you all the way down to small.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. Also, one of the policies that Nintendo had was to stay away from Christian symbolism, especially for games that would get released in the West, because they didn't want to offend anybody. And that isn't the main faith of most of their employees and all of that. But in level 6-4, there's a formation of blocks in the sky that's shaped like a cross, and it can only be reached using a P-wing because that requires flight. And the developers who put this in did it as kind of an inside joke, as a way to kind of sneak in Christian imagery with a cross in the sky.
Why?
Because they were bored. I don't know. Well, I don't. In fact, they probably weren't bored because they were really, really pushed. In fact, the team only had 11 people. Let me say that again.
Wild, yeah.
11 people. Miyamoto, Tezuka, they were the directors and designers. There were 4 other designers, 4 programmers, and a composer, Koji Kondo, who has done a lot of these Nintendo games. And it took them 2 years to create. They did this 11 people in 2 years. And on top of that, Miyamoto was working late. He didn't keep a regular schedule. He worked all hours of the night. And this is, again, part of that Japanese culture of like work, get the product out, do it. And they did in 2 years. That's nuts.
It's insane how fast this game came out.
Yeah. But here's a fun one. The last one I have of our fun
Looking at you, Bethesda.
Facts. Yeah, right. Right. So when this game was localized, they're the Koopalings, right? The Bowser's kids or whatever. Did you ever notice that their names had something in common? For example, there's Ludwig and Roy and Lemmy and Iggy. They're all named after popular musicians. Mm-hmm. Which is fun. So this is fun. And this is one of those things as a kid you maybe didn't notice.
Because of one of them is why.
Because of Lemmy?
No. Iggy.
Iggy Pop?
Yeah, I like Iggy. That's why. Right, Lemmy's always going to be Iggy.
I thought maybe you know Lemmy from Motorhead, but
yeah, I know both. But Iggy wasn't that triggered me at one point. Like, why is it named Iggy? And that's when I discovered it many years ago. But yeah.
And then Wendy O. Williams, Roy Orbison. So cool little reference there. Well, it's kind of fun. A bunch of miscreant little guys that are named after rock stars.
This is, like I said, with the exception of Ludwig, like there's some serious musicians too. Like
Roy
Orbison's. Yeah, I mean, Wendy O. Williams is not that well known either. By the way, Iggy Pop, I guess, is Larry Mullen too. I mean, these aren't majorly known musicians, so I give them credit on who they picked.
Right, Larry's the one that I think most people debate. They're like, is it Larry Mullen or is it a different Larry? Because
that's true, but it's
not as unique a name like Iggy, you know?
Yeah. But
well, anyway, that's all my fun facts. Let's talk about what you liked about it. You said this is one of your favorite games.
First and foremost, it's actually fun. This game is exceptionally fun. It's just pure entertainment. It hits on every level in my brain. First off, the levels themselves. So there are colors, there's beauty that we've come to expect from Super Mario. Okay. But more important that there's variation. Each zone you go to, each world you go to is different. And with changes not only to just enemies, but entire setups. There's the world where everything's giant, just out of nowhere. Why not? There's levels where the map moves up and down, left and right. There's now hidden stuff in the levels, not just a random tube you go down, but more stuff. You have
not just tubes and vines and hidden blocks and things like that.
No, we're
Mario
really,
1.
We're really moving.
It's almost like
around.
Every level has hidden stuff, so it's worth searching everything. Exactly. And Mario 2, the American Doki Doki Panic one, has kind of some of that, and you got to figure out how to get through the level sometimes. But this one is the first one to me that feels, if you made it through the level and you didn't find something secret, then go back and play again because you missed it. You missed something.
Yes, very much. The other thing too is the enemies vary. This is one of the biggest things I think about this to me. You don't just get this recycling over and over again. All right, we have turtles, we have mushrooms, sure. But we have new types of turtles. We have new types of mushrooms, flying.
We put wings on stuff.
Yeah,
we just put wings on things randomly. Here you go, wings.
We have a weird fish who's really angry and tries to eat you.
Right.
We have
really
a sun.
tiny guys.
Yeah, we have a sun that tries to attack you from one level. But just it does. The random boomerang guys. Like this type of thing. I really love it. You really get this massive change to characters. Now I do think some of this is a lead over from Doki Doki, because you did get that, I'm going to call it Doki Doki, but in Super Mario 2, we did get a lot more variation, and they leaned into that a bit more, but it feels nice. You get to a new level, and that world will have almost a theme coming through it, which, to my point in the first Super Mario,
not just a theme in not just in a theme in World 2 is the desert level, is the desert world, just like in Mario 2 had a desert world. It's not just that theme. What you're saying is it's more than that.
Yes.
It's the diversity of the enemies. It's the way the level's laid out. It's even the types of blocks or the way certain things function.
Everything is expanded. That's the best way to explain. You just get more, so that when you're at World 6, when you're at World 7, you're not like, all right, let me just finish this off.
It's just more.
It is you're excited. I wonder what the next one's going to be. In fact, the final level is totally different. When you go to Bowser's world, you've never seen it before. It's like everything's all new, which is really cool.
And it feels way more intense than the other levels. It feels like
it is hard.
You're delving deeper into this place you're not supposed to be, and they're really trying to keep you out.
It actually does get intense. I will say there's elements of the game that you're like, oh, this is getting hard now.
Yeah.
Another piece I like is they've also upgraded. You're not just on mushrooms and flowers anymore. Maybe a little bit too far, because some of these are a little bit silly, but you get the mushroom. We kept that.
Silly. Yeah.
Flower ball. It's not flower
ball.
Yeah,
fireball. Fireball.
Eat a flower, make fireballs.
Yes.
Raccoon. All right. Flying raccoon. Why not?
Sure.
Frog. All right. One got a little bit weird. Extra raccoon suit that goes invincible.
The Tanuki.
Yeah,
suit.
sure. Tanuki. You can call it Tanuki. The problem is, I'm going to refer to all of these as what they were to me in 1990 when I was playing them.
Right. Because
other raccoon suit.
We didn't know Japanese mythology to know what a Tanuki was.
That's my point. I'm sitting in Philadelphia in 1990, and I'm like, oh, other raccoon suit.
Right.
Sure. You get the Hammer Bros, which is a really good bicep joke for, if you want to go to the Hammer Bros, Jack and Sledge. Fantastic joke, always funny.
But also a cool suit. Cool suit.
Really good. It's a great suit. Yeah. The P-Wing, because screw your level, I'm flying over it.
Yeah.
Cloud, I'm not even trying your dumb level. Music box, let's put everyone to sleep so I can skip over the dudes who are not that hard to kill. Anchor, but you don't need, because honestly, I'll beat the thing in the first pass. And then the hammer for just breaking a random brick down somewhere.
Right.
It's fun.
Right.
Excellent times.
Yeah. And you can even blow a whistle and summon a tornado to carry you teleporting style into
somewhere random, other place.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This game, they really went all out, and it was like, let's just have fun. And that's what all of those bits were. They were all meant to be fun. It wasn't this, when we talk about these suits, it's not like we're talking, that wasn't like, oh, well, if you want to beat World 7,
Make sure you store up this suit in your inventory
and a star, otherwise you'll never beat it. It's more like, you can just, if you want to start with a frog, I don't really care.
Yeah,
it's designed as a frog. Yeah, it's all accoutrements. This will be funny. Right. Go for it. And that's what makes it great, because the gameplay itself is so good. Sure, some levels can be a little bit challenging, but you've got a ton of lives. There's multiple ways to get them in bulk, by the way. Most levels aren't that bad, and the continue system is pretty easy. The game is designed for you to beat it, which
it's like they finally realized that the main reason people play games is for fun. So let's lean into the fun.
Yes. And people want to have a sense of accomplishment, and a sense of accomplishment comes from beating a game. Mm-hmm. It is not No one's walking around telling their friends, did you know I beat Super Mario 2? And they're like, wow, I now think more highly
Right.
of you. Like that didn't happen. Maybe at some point they thought that would happen. That's why they made them so hard. But it wasn't. So it was more this piece of, I spent $50 on this game. I'm going to go drop a bunch of hours into it. I don't mind playing a game for like 15, a Nintendo game, 15 hours. That would be 15 hours. 6 hours, if I'm being
6
honest.
hours.
Nintendo, yeah. But I don't mind putting 6 hours into a game and beating it. I don't mind it. I mind when it's a grinder. When it's just like, oh, I got to do 6 hours and and I'm restarting and doing all stuff. This game was fun.
Yeah. As soon as I have to turn my brain off, either because it's not hard and it's like too boring.
Yeah.
I won't say not hard enough, but too boring or too difficult. And now I'm just ramming my face into the same problem until all of a sudden I just happen to hit the button, 30 milliseconds faster in order to make that stupid jump, Battletoads. Like,
yeah, exactly. I was like, Battletoads. I was trying to memorize, when do I hit the button? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But the other one too is just to that note, this game is just a sit back and enjoy game. It's weird, but it's fun weird. Again, flying raccoon suit that where your tail wiggles and that makes you fly up higher.
Yeah, it feels like an adventure. Well, I got a list of fun little details things that like really stood out playing through this again. Little things like if you hit the mushroom block on the right side, the mushroom pops out and goes to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Like those little details of like, what would make sense? If you hit it on this side, it kind of pushes the mushroom the other way. And so now you got to run backwards. Or being able to scroll the screen backwards. That was mind-blowing. Mario 1, you moved to the right, and if you went past something, you couldn't go back to the left. You couldn't run to the left. It just didn't happen. But in this, you could. It didn't occur to me. Like you pass a pipe and go, oh wait, I need to check, see if I can go down that pipe, and you could run back to the pipe and go down it. Mario 1 couldn't do that. You can also slide down slopes and hills, which great idea, super fun to like knock everybody over when you slide down a hill. The secrets where you clip behind the background. So this is another one of those. There's a secret where you go and you hold down on one of the little backdrop like rectangles, and you clip down behind it, and it's after that moment, once you discover that secret, that you start to notice that all of those are offset from the background and they have these like shadows, drop shadows, as if they're set pieces in a play. And it really starts to, solidify that perspective of, these are all make-believe things set up in a design and a style. So that's really cool. All sorts of wings on things. When you get invincible and you jump, you do a little forward somersault.
Oh yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, the invincible, you jump differently. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Right. You jumped you're Luke Skywalker all of a sudden and you somersault in the air. Cool. The way Mario squishes his hat down when he crouches and he holds his hat down tight on his head, like he's like hiding. These little details are so good. They add so much personality. The fun little games you play, like the sliding match game, you mentioned that there's a whole bunch of different games. The Koopalings all being a little bit different. They're not just like the same bad guy at the end of each level, but not only look different, but they actually do different things, which was cool. Falling down out of the sky with the wand when you beat the boss. So you're up in the airship. You beat a boss, and then you grab the wand, and then you fall to the ground, and it descends. Like the set pieces are genius. They all feel so good. There's all sorts of mini things or giant things. There's just a whole bunch more things like you talked about. And like we discussed before, the fact that there's secrets on basically every level. There's always something. You are always wondering, not like in Mario 1 where you're like, oh, this level has a vine on it. I wonder what other levels have vines on it. You feel like there's always something to find.
Another key thing is the secrets give you more game. The difference is Super Mario 1, the secrets let you skip game, so you got less game by using the secrets.
Right,
now,
that's a good point.
The secrets are meant to give you more game. We're going to get that more next week when we do Super Mario World, where the secrets give you more game.
Right, including really whole levels that are just like you didn't even know were there. Mm-hmm. Yes. So all of that stuff and more were on my list of things that I enjoyed. But what did you not enjoy? There's some stuff that
I thought was a miss. One of the big misses to me were actually the boss stages. The flying ships I didn't really care for. First and foremost, I found them. The first one's really cool. The first time you get to the flying ship, it's awesome. Oh, cool. Check out this flying ship. It's, they got special music, etc. But by the fourth one, I was like, oh, so it's just this.
Yeah, they all feel very similar, and they're not particularly hard, especially once
they're really easy. And
get it.
All Bowser's kids are not hard to beat either. Especially hindsight. I'm covering more Super Mario World next week. Those ones get a little bit more challenging. These ones are really easy to beat. So there's that one I didn't really care for. I would like to see it evolve a bit more between the worlds, because the worlds change, and those ones are basically identical. There's some cannons and then a couple mediocrely difficult jumps, and that's it.
Right.
Another piece, to be honest, is the game at times is a little bit too easy. There are levels where it's like you get through an entire world in 5 or 6 minutes, because it is just that the jumps are that well timed. You're like, oh, okay, this isn't that. It's a weird complaint, I know. I don't want it to be hard, but there's times where you're like, all right, come on, guys. Like, really? Like, that's it?
Yeah. That makes sense. So to me, it was the auto scrolling levels, and that includes the boss stages, but like some of the other levels too. Is just like, okay, let me just can I just go to the right?
Yeah. Auto scrolling levels are always like the thing about auto scrolling levels is I like them where I don't know where I get to go next. I don't like we see it more in some other games. If you auto scroll me up, it's actually more interesting to me than going to the right, is how I explain. Because up, I don't know. Hey, what's up there? What is it? The jumps are a little bit trickier. There's a bit more excitement. Whereas just auto scrolling me to the right, it's like you're just slowing me down.
Right. Yeah. There's
something about like a mystery versus or
not feeling like you're getting left behind and getting like left below the map as it goes. Doesn't feel the same as getting pushed off the side as it scrolls to the right.
When it just scrolls to the right on you, I'm basically playing the game like a parachute behind me. I just can't go.
Right.
But when it's like scrolling up or down, hey, what's down there? I got to be careful when I jump. What if I try to jump and there's nothing there? Bit more exciting. But
yeah, I agree.
That's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement there. Otherwise, I think it's a great game. I think that if you think this is the best game on the NES, I would have a hard time disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I think from a conclusion, this is pretty simple. The conclusion is this is a really good game. And if you haven't played it, I'll be surprised. Basically, if you haven't played it, it's because you weren't old enough to have played it, candidly. Right. And if you haven't played it, you should go play it. This is, if we're talking about a Nintendo game, it is very well made. Additionally, too, if you're like a younger listener and you haven't really played Nintendo games, this one is one of the better ones. There's sometimes you go back and play old games, and Tom and I talk about this a lot, where just your experience with modern graphics and modern gameplay makes something like Ice Climber.
Ice Climbers.
You just can't play it. Or like Paperboy. It's just, this is unplayable because the way the game interacts is just nightmarish. This one interacts correctly. It's lame, but it's well done and it's kind of fun. So.
Yeah, and especially if you played other Mario games, you'll recognize the origin of a lot of the stuff you're seeing in later games. So that's pretty cool too. I feel like we just did the conclusion. That's our conclusion. Yep. So there you go. That's our conclusion. But we have some comments, and don't go anywhere because these are always fun. But we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Before we get to your comments, if you've enjoyed the show and you want to check out our other stuff, check out John's show, the 40K Lorecast, or the history of 40K if you're into 40K stuff, Warhammer and all that. If you like Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Lord of the Rings, go check out my Lorecasts. I do Lorecasts for each of those. And wherever you're listening to this, you can look those up really easily. They'll come right up in a little search. Or just robotsradio.net. Or join us on the Discord and you can comment about the episodes on there. Or you can comment on Spotify like these wonderful people who we're going to read through now. This was from the Sonic the Hedgehog episode. John says, I live in Europe and I've heard both Eggman and Robotnik being used. Never knew Eggman was only in Europe, though. Always wondered why he had two different names. Remember this one? Yeah, remember when we talked about...
I forgot about that. They had the two different names. Sometimes it's just the translation things. I will say every now and then you'll do it. And I know this more from my corporate life where you'll you do a naming mechanic for a product, and you have to do a quick test of, if we call it this and we release it in, say, Poland, is it going to be a problem in the Polish language? And you get a response back with, turns out that's a slang for a genital. Like,
right.
Okay. No,
yes.
Right.
Or like little things like, oh, the person in the thing is giving a thumbs up, but in this country, that means screw you,
The Nixon, when
Nixon,
he went everyone and gave he tried to give
two fingers.
Two finger symbol.
American peace symbol. Yeah.
And the whole world went, is that guy giving us the finger? Why? What did we? Well, it's American.
Of course.
And
It's
he's
backwards.
Nixon. Yeah. It was Nixon.
Yeah. So there you go, John. Two different names, same character. Sagoth says, so Myst is like being stuck in a painting. Copy that. Of course, this is the Myst episode. Yeah. When y'all mentioned this game, I thought of Chandelar. Love that game.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I didn't play Chandelar.
Chandelar was a Magic game. It was Magic the Gathering. So Chandelar.
Okay.
It actually was.
Oh, this was like a really early Magic the Gathering game. Yeah.
So Chandelar was one of the earlier ones. Chandelar was actually fun, unlike Myst. So
unlike Myst. Yeah. So Chandelar, it is kind of like being stuck in a painting.
Yeah. Chandelar. I'm 80% sure that Chandelar predates Arena. Like, I'm very confident on this one. Arena was what really kind of brought Magic, exploded Magic. Chandelar was the first kind of attempt at turning Magic, the game, into a video game.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Hey, another one to put on our list of things I've never seen. Go check out.
Yeah. Chandelar's cool.
Yeah, and we've got some more Myst comments. Jason says, finally caught up to present and glad there was nothing I missed.
Ugh.
I see what you did there. If you loved Lemmings, what's your thoughts on Worms? I loved Worms. Did you ever play Worms?
I never played Worms.
You never played Worms?
I never played Worms.
I have very strong memories. The guys I played in a band with in high school, we walked to the drummer's house after school, and we would get together and jam and stuff for a few hours before going home.
Right now.
And he had a PC in his living room, and one day he was like, hey, have you guys seen Worms? And I was like, what? And we sat down and watched Worms. It's this game where you're these little worms, and there's still modern versions of this. And each of
look at Worms WMD right now.
Yes, that's one of the more recent ones. Yeah. So you're these little worms with bazookas, and you got to shoot each other on a map, and you move around. You take turns moving and blowing each other up. And it was brilliant when it came out. Definitely a great game.
No, here goes a lot of fun. My life this weekend. All right.
Yeah, cool. This would be fun. This is the kind of game that would be fun to play with your kids, because they would be like, what? You can drop a, holy hand grenade on the other guy and blow up the map. Oh, very fun. Yeah. Jason, that's a great recommendation. Thanks for that one. Waffle Marine says, also from the Myst episode, so after this game time, let's see a Red Alert. John needs some Hell March.
Oh, Red Alert. Oh, God, I love Red Alert. Now, I will be honest. I like Red Alert more than I like Red Alert 2. I will say that. But Red Alert blew my little mind when that game came out. We will probably have to do a whole chunk on Command and Conquers, plural.
Yes.
Yes. I like this little bit we're doing series. So I think we'll probably do a run of the Command and Conquers in plural.
Yeah, that would be fun. Only dabbled in some of the early ones, but then I got into, what was the...
Iberian Wars?
No, it was after that. It was I can't remember the name of these. I'll have to go back and we'll figure it out. We'll get there eventually.
I owned it. I played it. Yeah. Command and Conquer was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So Azur maybe says, and this is from the Final Fantasy Tactics episode. I love Final Fantasy Tactics growing up, but man, was it frustrating and amazing at the same time. Sorry, John. I'm grabbing the new one, LOL. Not sure if I missed it in your guys' Warcraft episode, but if you clicked on the stray animals enough times, they would explode. Yes, we didn't talk about that. We
didn't talk about that. Yeah, probably they would explode. Man, Blizzard really is funny, aren't they? They have a good sense of humor. But yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics was... here's what's about Final Fantasy Tactics. If you didn't have a Game Genie and you tried to play Final Fantasy Tactics, credit to you, man. That was work. That is a hard game to put the time into. You were looking at probably 100+ hours.
Yeah. All right. One more. This one's from Roger, also from the Myst episode. I didn't even realize Myst had a plot. till I listened to this. I hated the game too and never actually finished it.
See?
It has a plot?
Yeah. Well, that's a part of this horrible thing. Yeah. Because that's the thing I missed. I think most of us played it because everyone's like, this game it's so big. Everyone's playing Myst. And you play like, this game sucks. And eventually you're just like,
pretty pictures.
And we all just gave up on it. I hate this. This is like the inverse of fun. This game is a fun vortex. It makes me
black hole.
Well, because it makes other video gaming less fun because this is a video game. Like that's
Right.
how bad
By
this
association.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, thank you everybody for your comments. Keep them coming. We've been loving these. And we'll be back next week with Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Wrapping up our Mario.
Super Mario
month.
World is, Super Mario World was the game that made me really jealous of my friends who had Super Nintendo because I did not have a Super Nintendo. And I love my Sega Genesis. I think Sega Genesis had a lot of benefits, especially because I liked fighting games. But Super Mario World was the one it was Super Mario World and Zelda were the two where I was like, man, those are two games I was like, man, I was always jealous about.
Nintendo knocked it out of the park with those, like some of those early games, for especially those two. But yeah, man, a very good.
And whatever that,
all right.
and was it Air Wings? Whatever the airplane one was, that was actually really fun.
Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings. Also oddly fun, but not important.
Yeah. We'll get into it next week. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.
Retro Recall.
Robots Radio. Games. Lore. Stories. Community. Just press play.